Again, just prior to the start of the Guilford Community Fund annual meeting, June 6, 2018, and I have the pleasure of introducing to everybody our next honorary chairperson.
What?
Our next honorary chairperson. Chairperson. Al Jacobs. Thank you, Al, for agreeing to work with us this year.
I didn't know that. He said I was just going to be part of a foursome. I have to be what?
You're the chairperson.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome, Al.
Al, tell us a little bit about your involvement here in the community.
I grew up in town so far all my life, but I've been involved with, in the Rotary Club for 39 years. I've been involved in the Guilford Foundation. My biggest pride and joy is the Interact Club in town. So it's all about giving back to the community after all these years.
Okay, very nice.
But
What made you say yes to agreeing to be with us, the Guilford Community Fund?
Bob Hartman is a very persuasive individual, and how can you say no to that guy? No, I've observed the Community Fund for many years, and the amount, the depth and the breadth of what you guys contribute to and what you have in the community is just, it's huge. It's huge. So I figured we'd be a part of it.
Sure. We do try to contribute to 22 agencies that all serve Guilford in various fashions. And we are very happy to try to be able to support them in what we do for our part. If you were to address Guilford about what the rest of Guilford can do for the community fund, what would you have to say?
Guilford is steeped in volunteerism. I mean, you look around and so many people get involved in volunteer efforts. But it all comes down to raising money. And, you know, you take a look at these 22 agencies, for the most part, most of them don't have their own individual ability to raise funds. So this is kind of a collective. So to address the Guilford public, open your wallets. There's a huge need in this town for funds to be raised. And you take a look at the amount of agencies that are represented here and the amount of good that can be done. I would implore people just to give.
That's a good point, Al. The needs are quite often unseen unless you work in one of the agencies here at our meeting here tonight. But unseen, quite often overlooked in a town like Guilford. But they're all the same and worthy of our support and our money to help them. So, yeah. Aside from that, just thanks to Al for agreeing to be with us this year. Thanks to all of our past chair people as well, including Peter Palumbo.
Peter.
You want to come up and pass the torch? Do we have a torch? Where's the torch? Good.
I hope I can follow in your footsteps, big guy.
I'm so glad I went first.
Big shoes to follow.
Yeah, we had a very good year under your stewardship as chairperson. So thank you very much for your work for us last year, and we look forward to another good year with Al.
Good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So much.
Good evening. I feel like I have an echo. Well, I have a little speech for tonight, only because it's my last hurrah. So I'm going to hurrah it. Welcome to our 2018 annual meeting. In the fall of 2008, I was nominated for a National Teaching Award given by NCEA, the National Catholic Education Association. However, with these nominations come pages of application forms to fill out. This makes the nominees say, "I'm glad I was nominated, thank you very much, but forget the paperwork." Reading through the application, I saw an area on community service. It said write about it in 100 words or less. Well, my time as president of the Kindergarten Association of Connecticut was over, and my work as vice president treasurer of the Connecticut Early Childhood Education Council was done too. And at that point, I had my church service as president of the parish council, but to my community of Guilford, I was coming up short. My good friend, Dr. Nancy Arnold, was finishing her term of office as a board member and said, "Oh, you would gladly be good and wonderful on the board of the Guilford Community Fund. So I will gladly nominate you. And lo and behold, two things happened. I won the NCEA Distinguished Teacher Award in 2009 with a trip to sunny California. And now, 10 years later, as a member of the Guilford Community Fund Board, I must say that this was the most rewarding and fulfilling board I had the honor and the privilege to serve on. Today, I have to say I feel a little sad because my first duty on the board that I felt I could do well was the annual meeting. So tonight I finish a decade of doing that. And I really had a ball. Maybe because I like the TV camera, I don't know what it is. But on this June 6th, I realized that this date has a great significance in history. It is the commemoration of D-Day in 1944 and the commemoration of the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in 1968. It is Robert Kennedy's words that reflect the essence of what I feel about our wonderful community fund. I'm going to take RFK's words, and this is what he wrote. What we need in our nation is but love and wisdom and compassion toward one another, and a feeling of justice toward those who still suffer within our country. These words encompass the mission of the Guilford Community Fund. It was for the love of our community that the Community Fund was founded. It is with wisdom that we distribute to our 22 agencies the monies raised by you, the citizens of Guilford and beyond. We receive checks from former Guilford residents who remember the work of the Community Fund, and it is their compassion for their neighbors here in Guilford that help your agencies keep going. There are many trusts and many funds that send us money, and they are big checks, $15,000, $3,000, $4,000. So we can't do it without their support. Each dollar given, whether it be $5, $10, $25, $100, $500 or more, each dollar makes the grand total of what is being awarded. Our only problem now is that we're competing with many other agencies. We know that all of you have to do your own fundraising. And so what's happening is people are beginning to say, where do I choose to go? And we are happy that you are fundraising too. So what happens is the total that we make kind of gets a little bit smaller. So I know when Sean takes over the reins and the board takes over, they're going to think of another new way to do another big fundraiser where we can get a few more dollars to make money for you guys. But this year we are awarding $128,500, which is great in this time. So let's give a hand for that. Now I want to let you know about the generosity of the Lee family. I didn't invite Bill and Kate to come tonight, but I think they're doing less and less social things. They started for us a fund with the Guilford Foundation so that every year we will receive money to come into the community fund. In the beginning, it was like $1,300, then it was $1,500, and this year it was $1,950, and that's a big ticket. And so I'm going to hold up, if they came, I will make sure I deliver it. We have this, and Sean, I'll have you read it. So Bill and Kate, if you're looking at this at 3 o'clock in the morning, this is for you.
The Guilford Community Fund recognizes Bill and Kate Lee in appreciation for your lifelong dedication to serve our community by creating the Bill and Kate Lee Family Fund to ensure financial resources in perpetuity for the Guilford Community Fund. Neighbors helping neighbors.
So we award that to them tonight. So let's give them a big hand. Another person that remembers us every single year, they never forget us. They reach into their pockets and they give to us. That is Bishop's Orchard. This is our local farm market, and they continue to support us, either with family fund or they do something at the store and then we get a little bit of something. And this year they gave to us $2,000, which is a great bonus because I know that they give to everything, everything. They are so generous. So raising all those apples and now the wine, I mean, they're really doing good. So we're happy that they're doing it. So would you like to read what we have for them?
The Guilford Community Fund recognizes Bishop's Orchards in appreciation for your lifelong dedication to serve our community by your generous financial support to the Guilford Community Fund. Together, with your help, our community grows and we can support our neighbors in need.
There we go. Now, there are two things that Sean's going to talk about next that are dear to our heart. One is the annual golf tournament, which this year it's going to be the 25th year in honor of Ron's father. So we want to really whoop this up. So I'm going to ask, I don't care if you give us $5 or $10, but what we would love is that every agency, we can put something on that golf lawn that says you participated. So if you can somehow think about it, I'd love to see 100% from our 22 agencies to honor Ron's father, and also the golf tournament, because the golf tournament and the Valentine's dance are important, because as all of you know, mailing gets very, very, very expensive. And so those dollars, we don't want to take the dollars that people are sending in for you to pay for mailing and other costs. Those things we like to take care of with those couple of fundraisers. Every dollar that you get tonight was the dollars raised from the community. So it's important. The other thing that Sean's going to talk about is the Will Norton Fund, which is an important fund. And after it's over, is Mary Anderson here?
Yes.
Mary, could you see me afterwards? Because I want to tell you something that you can do maybe. I talked to Sean about the Will Norton Fund.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll just leave it right there and talk about what the Will Norton Fund is. For those of you who haven't been here in the past, it's a little subset of what the community fund does. It's a separate checking account, and that account is specifically for the youth of Guilford to try to help them with opportunities, activities, instruction and education, or just recreational things that they may not otherwise get due to their own financial conditions or family constraints, etc. It was started by Will Norton, Dr. Will Norton, many, many years ago, and we've been very happy to continue it on. Due to a very generous donation from the St. George's Men's Group several years ago, the Will Norton Fund still has $8,000 in its account. And we'd like to get that down to nothing. Anybody that knows somebody that might need help with an activity, contact myself or anybody else in the community fund and they'll get a hold of me. You can also contact anybody over at Guilford Youth and Family Services or Guilford Social Services. Those three agencies coordinate. We each have one representative in our group, and we all coordinate and take applications for funding and then write the checks. Last year, from June of 17 until now, we helped 6 different kids throughout the year. The activities that we paid for or supported them with ranged from martial arts education to a young cancer survivor who had wanted to play youth football. And we were able to fund his participation in the football camp. Other kids, we did a couple summer camps for kids that might not otherwise have gone, and we funded We funded one-on-one staffing for a child who probably couldn't go to camp without someone with him every minute, where he'd get lost in a typical summer camp situation, and we were able to fund that for him so he could go. So all in all, Will Norton Fund underutilized, and again, anybody that has somebody in mind or can think of somebody, don't be afraid to contact again any one of us, Youth and Family Services, Social Services, or the Community Fund. Thank you. Now then, getting off of that and getting back to the golf tournament. Again, this is more of a plug, not so much to the people sitting here, but to the thousands of people watching. The golf tournament is one of our two primary fundraisers, and if we make money on the golf tournament, then every dollar that Guilford gives can go right back to you agencies, to your agencies. Town of Guilford is very generous, very supporting, but this is an area where through sponsorships, through just golfers, the more money we raise, the more we can give back everywhere else. We're always looking for golfers. We've been a little bit short of selling out the last couple of years. We'd like to sell out. We're a little bit short on some sponsorship. We're looking to see if we can find another group, another business, or another family in Guilford that can match the record that the Rosa family has put up. Bill Rosa, founder of the Guilford Food Center all those years ago, was a former president of our organization, and he and his family sponsored a golf tournament, the William Rosa Golf Tournament, to benefit the Guilford Community Fund 25 years ago. We're on our 25th year. We'd like to make it a good one. Golf tournament is September 25th. For those of you that want to play, come see Ron at the marketplace at the Guilford Food Center. Come see one of us. We're going to be all over town by the end of June with flyers and brochures to hand out, contacting people as in the past, going to our golfers from prior years, etc. But anybody that's interested, come find us or come find Ron. It's a great day, Madison Country Club. You get lunch, you get beverages, you get steak dinner provided by the marketplace. You get all the typical prizes, the hole-in-one, the longest drive, the shortest putt, or closest to the hole, etc. Everything that everybody else gets. We also have the best shirts out there. It's not a t-shirt. It's a nice Pima polo, or whatever you want to call it. But they're nice shirts. We really put on a good golf tournament. Hopefully that gives us the funds needed to pay all of our other incidental expenses. So that's my plug for the golf tournament.
We do have someone sitting right there with a golf tournament shirt right on. Want to stand up and model Every year we change the color, so if you come every year, you can have one that's a different color, so you can wear a different one every day of the week. We also march in the Guilford Citizens Parade, and that's where our honorary chairs come into place, because that's where we showcase them as they ride in the car and give their wave to the crowd. And so this year, our honorary chair was Peter Palumbo. So if you come on up, Peter. And we do have a present for you. And I'll let our, want to read it?
The Guilford Community Fund recognizes Peter Palumbo, Honorary Chair, 2017 to 2018, in appreciation for his lifelong dedication to serve his community as a strong role model, outstanding leader, and a dependable advocate for the citizens of Guilford.
Every time he has a car wash, he'll be standing out there holding this to let the whole world know what a great job he did as our honorary chair. Now, Peter, we've selected a new honorary chair as you go out, and he is here tonight, and he might, he's going to share some words of advice too, but I don't know if you want to give him any advice for...
Going the next year?
Yeah.
Thank you for the award. I'm happy to be part in Guilford community and do anything I can to help Guilford Community Fund. I want to just share one quick thing. I remember when Will Norton Fund was first organized, I was one of the first people that helped with that, and that was a fun check to write. And back to the Will Norton Fund, it is something that really, there's really no questions asked to, if you know a youth in the community that wants to go to a camp, the money is there and available, so take advantage of that money. Mr. Al Jacobs, I mean, you could do this. I know you can do this. You do it a lot here all over the community. That was a great choice. It's an honor to do it. So I wish you luck in the next coming year.
Thank you. Well, Al, would you like to come forward? No. Now, did I see you at the Guilford Foundation dinner?
How's it?
Now, don't get us mixed up. There's the Guilford Foundation and there's the Guilford Community Fund. So remember, one is the checking account, that's us, and the other is the saving account, that's the foundation. So what we need...
Lydia, when you were at the Rotary Club and you described all of this,
I
I paid
did.
attention. I will actually do all right with the quiz, I swear to God. The checking
Great.
and the savings account, I
Then
get.
we shall do the dance of joy. Go take it away.
Peter, how is somebody supposed to follow you? You are a big personality, you're a big guy, you have been all over town, you are going to be a tough act to follow. But fundraising is not all that easy. So I'm just going to say, you got 22 agencies here. The umbrella is big. Help us help you. With all of these fundraisers, spread the word. Everybody knows somebody that can play golf. Everybody knows somebody that can come to the Valentine's Day dance. Everybody knows, you think 22 agencies, the impact that you guys have is huge. You touch thousands and thousands of people. So while you go out into the community, put your hand out. It's okay to ask for money and to say, look, if you appreciate the good work that you've been benefited, by all means, just contribute a little bit. So help us help you, and I look forward to trying to follow the big guy's good example, and let's make this a terrific year and help Sean look even better.
Thank you, Al. I think we are in good hands. Or is that with Allstate? No. Oh. All right, now, so we're all set there. Now, don't forget, Al will be sitting in a lovely car, some convertible that we'll get for him, and that will be at the Guilford Citizens Day Parade on Saturday, September 22nd at 10 a.m. And so we will look for Al and also look for all of the board members to be marching. Now, this year, Sean Kinnear took on a big job because he filled in for Mike Yancey, who always directed our GCTV events. But Sean stepped into that role, and he's doing a great job, and he's even training other board members. Of course, Bob Hartman has always been very good at the camera, too, when we can get him behind the camera. So we are very happy to have them working. So let's give these two guys a big hand. Now this year, who we do have missing, and I just want to make a plug because anyone who watches GCTV sees him often, Tony Fabiano couldn't make it this year. And unfortunately, he had a conflict, and he was really, really worried about it. I can't tell you how many calls he put into me to make sure that we took care of everything. And so he'll be happy to know, Tony, we took on the reins, you are missed, and we will have you next year. We can. So we look forward to having GCTV cover our events. Now, another event that it is going to cover will be our Valentine's Dance at the Knights of Columbus, and so we will look forward to having that done. And that segues right into our successful, unbelievable Valentine's Day dance last year. It was unbelievable. And it was co-chaired by 3 people, and I'd like them to come forward. Fran Wayner, Pat Corandino, and Nancy Martucci. Now, these 3 ladies worked very, 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 very hard on that dance, and they're going to give you a little financial recap of what happened at that dance. And I want to say that it really helped with our mailing.
Thank you. Stand there?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to look into that?
Nancy? Well, hello, everyone. I'm Fran. Welcome to all of you here tonight for the receiving of your funds. We've been very excited this whole year to do this, to do the dance, to do the golf tournament. Just to give you a quick recap of the dance this year, we held it on February 10th at the Knights of Columbus Hall. And this year, we raised $6,000 from the dance alone. It was an increase of $2,800 from last year, so we are proud of that number. To give you a recap, we sold 136 tickets. Now, I've been here for 2 years, so this is the most that, since I've been here, that we've had purchased. So we sold 136 tickets. We had 24 baskets for a raffle, but within those baskets, because we had so many raffle prizes donated from all of the stores within the Guilford community, that amount totaled to about $4,000 worth of gifts just from the vendors within Guilford. So I think, you know, without their help and their donations, we would not have been as successful this year. We also had 10 silent auction items, and we also did something special this year. I'm going to have Pat mention that to you.
I went out and I searched and searched, and it was right under my nose. My daughter-in-law's family owns Masterloni Pearls in New York and Texas and Stanford. And I'm very, I just ask people, I don't care. And I asked her, and I thought I was going to get a little tiny pearl on the end of a gold chain. Well, when I went to pick the pearl up, it wasn't a pearl. It was 3 strands of pearls worth $1,100. I mean, I almost fell to the floor. And we didn't know what we were going to do with it. We can't put this in a regular auction. So we had a special auction for it, and we gathered up quite a bit of money for this. So I was very proud of that. So I'm going to ask again this year. I don't know. I'll ask for, a little bit more. I don't care. But we had a wonderful time at the dance. It was a wonderful party. Right from the time we started sending out the invitations until the finished part of it. And we had a tremendous amount of people there this year, more than we've had in the past years. I'd like to see the second row people this year come or next year come. You know who I'm talking about? I volunteer with you, so come on, let's do it. But we had a wonderful time, and I do hope I see some familiar faces at the party again. Thank you all for helping us.
Also new this year, and we actually started rather late in the process, but we had the idea of doing sponsorships. So we did 3 levels, gold, silver, and bronze. Between the board members and some of the corporations in town, we had a total of 9, but like I said, we started so late running with that. But I would like to acknowledge the corporations. Shoreline Dentistry, Cilantros, National Roofing, and Canar Insurance were our corporate sponsors. And then we had the individuals, some board members, some outside individuals who helped sponsor us. So that was new this year. We were very pleased with the result of that. We started in January, the dance was in February. We took a chance, we sent letters out, and we did get some response. So this year we're going to start earlier.
It started in September and October, so check your mailboxes.
Before I leave, we would also really like to thank Royal Printing for donating their printing services to the dance, the posters, the raffle tickets, or the cards, the tickets. And also John Savell. John gives of his time yearly for so many events, but he is always there for us and for the Guilford Community Fund. So we really want to say thank you to John Savell. The dance next year is going to be on Saturday, February 9th, beginning at 7 o'clock at the Knights of Columbus Hall, so save the date. And you'll be seeing more information on that as we put it all together. So I thank you, and again, to you agencies, congratulations. Thank you.
We should say that all of that is, there's no overhead. Everything is donated, including the hall from the Knights of Columbus. So all the money that we get is all profit. So when we go out, because we don't have any expenditures, it all comes back to us, which we can thank people for generously giving. And now we're going to have a little talk from Anne Marie Gunn, who is going to talk to us about the Friendly Visitors and the Guilford Food Bank. So Anne Marie, would you please come up and share some knowledge with us?
Sure.
So the Friendly Visiting Program started in January of 1986. And what it is, it's an outreach program that we carefully match a volunteer with a person who wants a visit. And how it started was from Meals on Wheels, from our volunteers. They would come back to the office and say, you know, we love getting the mail, but we really wanted someone to chat with. And so that's how the program started. And it's unique because we only service Guilford. So the program is strictly social. It's not a transportation type program. It's nothing medical. And what it involves is that the volunteer can center their visit on, it can be an activity, it could be doing a puzzle with them, it could be just going for a walk, playing cards, just chatting, having a cup of tea. And the program is so unique in terms of this can make such a difference in the person's life. There's a lot of isolated people, and having this visit is something they may only see this person all week. So it's really important. And so the goal for us to enhance the quality of the client's life. And it's very flexible for the volunteer. They can pick a day that works best for both of them. And the visit runs, it can be anywhere between 45 minutes. Some of them run hour and a half. So it just really depends. And presently I have 54 matches. And throughout this fiscal year, I probably serviced about 66 matches because people, pass away or they move or that kind of thing. And I really just can't say enough good things about the program because these volunteers really get to change someone's life. I'm just going to give you an example on one of my volunteers. I have a volunteer. He started visiting this gentleman who had a debilitating disease. And he visited him at his home, and his wife kept him there as long as she could. And as time went on, he had to go into a nursing home. And so now he has trouble speaking. But what Richard had said to me was when he came back and he chatted with me about his visits now, he said, I feel like I'm creating little miracles. I still get a little smile from him. I'll get a little chuckle. He can't communicate like he did, but he knows he's making a big difference in his life. And he said to me, sometimes I may be the only person that comes in and chats with him that day. And this is not a gentleman that's an elderly gentleman. He's in his late 60s. And unfortunately, he's in a difficult situation. I have another volunteer who's volunteered for the Friendly Visiting Year for 20 years. She was with a woman, one of her clients, she was with a woman for 10 years. She followed her to Old Saybrook to visit with her until she had passed away, and then continued on with someone else. So my point is, we could not do these programs without our volunteers. They truly are special people, and I appreciate so much for what they do for others, and it's really important, this type of friendship. So thank you for listening, and I'm going to change gears, and I'm going to talk about the food bank. I also co-coordinate the food bank with the Social Services Department, and that's quite an operation. And so Tammy DeFrancisco and I do this together. And the partnership started in July of 1995. And it's been a very successful partnership. And the advantage of social services and GIV partnering is because we are a nonprofit organization. And we are able to obtain food from the food bank, the Connecticut Food Bank, at a discounted price, and some things we can even get free. So it has worked out very, very well. We share in the responsibilities. GIV, I recruit and train the volunteers for the food bank. We also, I do the scheduling for distribution, and I do the monthly statistics for the Connecticut Food Bank. And then the Guilford Social Services, the role that they do is they are involved in the food intake. And that would include purchasing the food and the food drives and getting all the food into the food bank. She also screens the clients. And the reason I'm bringing that up, because that is very important. The social services screens the clients so they can say, to find out what they're eligible for. So not just the food bank, but if they're eligible for food stamps, for fuel assistance, and job posting is there as well. And they do a great job with that. So our goal is to provide nutritious food to the clients in a comfortable atmosphere. And the reason I bring that up, because it's not always easy when you're down to be able to go to the food bank. And the volunteers do such a fantastic job in terms of being respectful and kind. And both Tammy and I get a lot of feedback. And actually one time when I was there, one of the clients had pulled me aside and had said to me how she was so nervous about coming, but that the volunteers made her feel so comfortable. And I just felt like $1 million just to know that these volunteers make people feel really comfortable in this situation. And the volunteers are the heart of GFB. We could not do it without them. So I really have a lot of respect for them. And the other thing I wanted to say is we serve about 120 recipients a month. That does not include the holiday baskets that come out of the Guilford Social Services Department. They do, I want to say, approximately 265 families for those holiday baskets every year. So that's fantastic. And the Friday mornings is when it's open for food donations. So the town donates food to us, and that's open from 9 to 12. And then distribution is open on Friday afternoons from 3 to 4:30, and Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. And our volunteers do a great job. So I wanted to thank you for listening, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Anne Marie. And now we're coming to the two best parts of the evening. We are now going to present our Volunteer of the Year awards. And those volunteers are nominated by your agencies. And actually, we don't turn any away because we know you're like us. If you don't have the volunteers, you don't run. So we are just honored to be able to celebrate with you the people who make your organizations be what they are. And so the first presentation is going to be presented by Mary Anderson, and she is from the Cove.
Hello, I'm Mary Anderson from the Cove Center for Grieving Children. And tonight, we're going to honor a teen who is an amazing young lady, Carol C.J. Fannin. Would you like to come up? C.J. CJ is a volunteer at our West Hartford site, as well as a Camp Erin, Connecticut volunteer. After the death of a loved one, CJ attended the Cove Center for Grieving Children's Family Program, and over time made many connections with her peers as she processed her own grief. She then attended Camp Erin, Connecticut as a camper, a program that welcomes grieving children from across the state of Connecticut. The Cove and the Moyer Foundation partner to provide this free camp experience for grieving children ages 6 to 17 years of age, including campers from our Guilford site. As a budding musician, CJ shared her talents at the annual campfire for Camp Erin, Connecticut, first as a camper, then as a big buddy in training last year, and this year as a fully trained big buddy helping teenage campers ages 14 to 16 in cabin 12. So she is our first big buddy in training T who has become a full-fledged big buddy this year. So we're thrilled. She recently became a Cove facilitator at our West Hartford Cove site, working with teens there as well. We have seen her growth as a caring, compassionate, and insightful young woman who has shared her commitment to helping other grieving children and teens, as well as her musical gifts with our program. We would like to thank CJ for her efforts on behalf of Cove kids and Camp Erin, Connecticut campers, and for helping to educate those working with grieving children by sharing her personal journey. A few words about your journey with Cove?
Absolutely. I was in about 8th grade when my stepfather had developed his brain cancer. It was very difficult for my family to deal with it. He just slowly forgot to walk and had trouble with his mobility. Eventually, we had to put him in hospice. The thing was, eventually he couldn't speak, and then he couldn't open his eyes, but he could move his hand a little bit, and he would just hold our hands really tight as he could, and hold it to his heart. It was the only communication he could bear to have, and eventually he even lost that. It was very difficult for my family, especially for my mother, who has 4 kids. I'm the 4th one, trying to raise us while he's sick. I had trouble when he passed, the day he passed. I couldn't react. I didn't cry. I wasn't sad, but I wasn't happy. I didn't know what was wrong, what made me feel this heartless, and I couldn't understand. Soon after, my Pepe actually had died about a month after with lymphoma. He also had Alzheimer's, so it was difficult in the family as well. And again, when he passed, I didn't cry. I tried looking up at the light to try to make myself tear up, and it was pathetic. I couldn't feel anything. Soon after, my mom introduced me to Cove. She was looking on the internet, and she thought that it might be a good thing for my sister and I. And at first I thought it was childish. Oh, this is for little kids, this isn't for me, this isn't going to help me. But it turns out by the end of that year of Cove, I ended up wanting to go again. And then we went to Camp Erin. I started feeling my grief. As soon as Cove introduced the whole grief to me, I could feel emotions again, and that was the greatest gift I could ever get, because for once I could actually cry about what I wanted to cry about. I can actually go face my past, my dreadful but important past, because I love my stepfather, who is my father, and I love my Pepe, and I couldn't thank the co or Camp Barron enough, so I decided I wanted to volunteer, and I'm really happy that I did.
We can't thank you enough.
I have something for you. I don't know if you know that in World War II, the soldiers loved to get lifesavers because it reminded them of home. And you are a lifesaver to Mary, helping her at Camp Erin. So here's a little bag of lifesavers for you. This is also a little bookmark for you to remember that your talents are shared with everyone. And this is a little magnet that you can put somewhere, because I know this is what Mary says every day. When I count my blessings, I count you twice. And so that is for you. And we also have this lovely certificate for you. So, congratulations. Next, Anne Marie is going to come back because she nominated someone from Friendly Visiting.
Unfortunately, the person I nominated was not able to make it, but I'll read the letter that I wrote. Dear friends, I wish to nominate Liz Lichtenstein, a friendly visitor volunteer of 4 years, for the Volunteer of the Year Award. Liz is a very gracious person who exemplifies the ideal friendly visitor with her warm, cheerful attitude and her patience with the client. She's dependable, kind, thoughtful, and a great listener. 4 years ago, I met a lovely woman named Rena who wanted a friendly visitor. I happened to mention to Marta at the time, who was the Meals on Wheels director, that I needed someone exceptional to visit with Rena, and Marta suggested Liz, who had been volunteering for Meals on Wheels for over a year. And boy, was she right. Liz and I set up a meeting to discuss the Friendly Visiting Program, and I immediately felt that she would be a wonderful friendly visitor. Rena and Liz connected quickly, and their friendship flourished. Liz faithfully visited with Rena once a week, staying longer than the suggested hour. She checked on Rena during the week to see if she needed items from the grocery store, took her out to lunch on her birthday, making Rena feel really special. Liz became part of Rena's family, and the family was very appreciative of her kindness and dedication to their mother. This warm friendship between Liz and Rena enriched the last 4 years of Rena's life. Liz has continued with the Friendly Visiting Program, and she is now visiting a new client. Liz has been very supportive of all our programs, always ready to help in whatever is needed, driving Meals on Wheels, moving medical equipment, and joining our board of directors. We truly appreciate her dedication to GIV. I believe these wonderful characteristics represent what I look for in a friendly visitor, and I'm pleased to nominate Liz for the honor of Volunteer of the Year.
Here we go. This is going to go. She receives the same lovely things that we
Okay.
gave to CJ.
Okay?
And also, you need your lifesavers, because
Thank you.
without her being your lifesaver, life can't go on.
And I'll reenact the whole thing for her.
Oh, thank you, Dad. Our next award is going to be presented by Christine Homa from Literacy Volunteers.
Thank you. My name's Christine. I'm the new Executive Director of Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore. Excuse me. We would like to recognize Linda DeRocha. She's been a volunteer with Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore for the past 6 years. She is our children's books librarian for our year-round book sale. And she's also a tutor to a woman who recently received her U.S. citizenship with Linda's help. In addition to those duties, she also volunteers as a tutor and student interviewer, which is an important part of our intake process, for most people, the first person they meet when either becoming a tutor or a student with Literacy Volunteers. She's always willing, friendly, and upbeat, and she truly exemplifies what Literacy Volunteers is all about. Community members helping other community members reach their potential. Thank you so much, Linda.
She can say a few words if she wishes. Would you like to?
Thank you. I've always admired Literacy Volunteers as an organization. The fact that people do this just as a labor of love. And that has become so for me as well. I always wanted to be involved in Literacy Volunteers, but I knew when I was working that I wouldn't be able to because I wouldn't have the time to devote to it that I would want to. But after I retired, it was the first thing I did was sign up for tutor training, and I was assigned my student, who I'm still working with. She's a Tibetan woman who has worked very, very hard to get where she is today. And I'm a bit, well, I'm very humbled and honored, but I'm also a bit surprised that I was chosen because I always feel that I could do more than I'm doing. So again, I thank everyone who thought to honor me in this way. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Maybe you'd like to come up here as you get your award. Come on up. Mommy can come with you. No? Oh, my mother wished I was shy, you know. There you go, Linda. Congratulations in your life savers. And it was bookmarked with since you're a librarian, will help. And I know that Literacy Volunteers says every day, when I count my blessings, I count you twice. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all you do. Our next presentation is going to be from Guilford Mentoring, and I believe Lisa Ott is going to make that presentation.
It's my pleasure to honor Elisa Milano tonight. Come up. We want to thank Elisa for sharing her energy and her talent with us. As a new board member, Elisa has brought her professional expertise to help us with the challenge of recruiting more men for mentoring. She's been invaluable in helping lead our recruiting effort by creating a series of posters which we displayed during and after National Mentoring Month at local businesses, town hall, etc. The posters are designed so that people will recognize that mentors are regular people and to share information about why our volunteers mentor, as well as data about the impact of mentoring on youth. We've been able to add electronic versions to our website, and Elisa's helped us to come up with some great ideas about how we can bring our show on the road for the next school year. We really appreciate Elisa's energy, ideas, and commitment and ability to get things done. So thank you very much.
So thank you. Thank you, Guilford Community Fund, for your continued support of Guilford Youth Mentoring. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Lisa, Simona, and Lisa McDougald at the high school for everything you do for the program. I would like to thank Barbara Solomon for her perseverance getting this program started, her encouragement and advice that she gave me over the years. You guys are all treasures in our community, and I'm honored and humbled to receive this award tonight. I actually connected with Guilford Youth Mentoring accidentally. My mom left a newspaper clipping on my counter many years ago with a note that said, "Thought you'd be interested." And it was a Meet the Mentoring article. and Meet the Mentor, that they're in the Courier every quarter, hopefully. And I had recently left my job, we had just moved back to Guilford, I had a new baby, and I thought, okay, I've got to take the hint. You know, I need to start doing something, I've got time on my hands. So I reached out to Barbara, we got the ball rolling, I got matched with a 4th grader and I jumped right in. And a couple weeks later, my mom asked me about the clipping she had left me, and I told her I took action, and you know, thanks so much for the lead, and she looked at me really confused and said, what does Chase Robotham getting married have to do with you taking the lead on something? Because on the flip side, it was a wedding announcement for an old childhood friend. So I read the wrong side. But fast forward 12 years and 4 mentees later, and I feel as though I'm just getting started. So we say, making a difference 1 hour at a time. And I love the old proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. It means that it takes an entire community to raise different people it takes an entire community of different people interacting with children in order for them to experience and grow in a safe environment. And our Guilford community is a wonderful village with so much to offer. We have a lot of resources and ideas, intelligence, integrity, and a lot of heart. But we also have many children in our school systems that need a little extra something. And being able to provide them with some compassion and guidance, a listening ear, and some dedicated time, it's just for them, it's their own caring adult who's not a parent or teacher, is so important. Thanks to a couple of the ladies in this room and a lot of people in our community, it's flourished since its inception in 2000. We're a statewide model for collaboration. We were recognized by Connecticut Mentoring Partnership as well as Governor's Prevention Partnership. We have just over 150 mentors, give or take, and about 170 children in our program. And we know that we're making a difference. We know that young people who have a mentor are more likely to participate in after-school activities. They're more likely to be leaders in clubs and teams, volunteer, and possibly go on to college. And studies show that there's a ripple effect. 90% of our youth that have been mentored become interested in being mentors themselves. So I will leave you with a few lines from one of our graduating seniors from an essay she submitted, and she sums up why we do what we do really well. My mentor showed me unconditional acceptance no matter how stressed, sad, or angry I was. By coming back every week, I saw that I meant something and that it was okay for me to express feelings that may not have been the prettiest. She taught me the road to happiness is never easy, but it's worth every inch. She inspired me to chase my dreams and believe in myself, and I hope I can come back in the future and do for a student what she has done for me. So that's why I do what I do, and I really appreciate the recognition and honor tonight. So thank you very much.
So you can continue on, and a nice plaque for you to enjoy. And also knowing what Lisa says every night and everyone else. When I count my blessings, I count you twice. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
very much.
And last but not least, we have a presentation going to someone of the Guilford Better Chance.
My name is Charlene Blake, and I'm president of Guilford ABC. Unfortunately, our nominee is not here tonight, but we wanted to recognize as our Volunteer of the Year, our current Vice President, Marie Barry. And we're doing this in appreciation for her commitment to our program and to our scholars, and particularly for organizing and implementing this spring's Morris Pleasure Concert fundraiser, which was held on March 24th. I hope many of you were able to attend. Pulling the concert together requires great energy, flexibility, and patience, and working around Mo Pleasure's ever-changing performance schedule. He would say, I'm going to be in Australia. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And the availability of using beautiful Guilford High School auditorium as well as all the details from ticket sales to sponsors and advertisement, getting our program organized and gathering all of the volunteers to make it a successful event. Plans and dates changed several times this year. Marie rolled with the punches and never stopped smiling or working to bring all the pieces together. The performance was a great success, and we salute Marie for all of her hard work and her unwavering vision for this special evening.
So on behalf of the Guilford Community Fund, we ask you to present that to Marie.
Certainly will.
And you can give her a nice bookmark, and you can also tell her how you count the blessings, and she will survive with her lifesaver.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. When I first came on the board, what we would do is you would nominate, and then they had a committee that would decide what volunteers would get the award. I thought that was not good because I thought everything I read was wonderful in our committee, and we couldn't make decisions. We couldn't decide. How do you say this one is better than the other? So as we went on, we decided, you nominate, we will award. Because I think what you saw tonight is, all of you come, and we can have only 1 or 2 speakers from agencies. But what the award, your agencies speak for you. They are your ambassadors. They tell the Guilford community what you're doing. And without them, you aren't. So I think it is a better way to have them come and be the voice of your agency and tell the world all the good that you do. So for each and every one of you and your agencies, I think we need to do, for the last time when I'm here, our round of applause. Now, before we hand out our checks tonight, I would like to take a moment to thank the members of the Guilford Community Board. I want to thank them for bringing their passion, their intellect, their insight, their experience, their resources to the table, making one of the best organizations on the shoreline. I want to thank them for challenging me and for holding me accountable. I want to thank them for giving their service to the agencies that you are, leading the Guilford Community Fund and influencing changes in our community. And now I'm going to call them forward with the help of Sean and Fran. I have a little something for you. Retirement is good. I can be busy and creative. First, I would like to call James Mark forward.
James actually had to leave.
Oh, he had to leave?
The award ceremonies tonight.
Oh, that's terrible because we have a gift for him and we have his award. So we'll have to make sure that James gets that. So we'll put that on the table. We'll get sad. And now, I would like to call Fran Salicki. She is going to be leaving us. She's retiring this year from the board. And so, we would like to give her, I have them all here, Sean. We'd like to give her her award. And I'm going to ask the board members to just stay up here with your award for your generous leadership and exemplary commitment, strengthening our mission. This is for you. And each night I count my blessings and think twice of you. And Pam, would you be sure she gets her lifesaver? Would you give that to Peter for us? And don't forget to give him his lifesavers. Barbara Kissel is retiring this year from the board. We are going to miss her very much too, as we will miss Fran. And so we have this for you. And we count our blessings for you. And don't forget your lifesavers, because she makes the punch. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have a new punch person.
Yes. Thank you, wow.
Now, Sean, I want you to know that as I'm leaving, I'm thinking of all the little things that I could do for you that can help you. So one thing I did is on the board members that are staying with us, I already made them their ID card so that they can go out and solicit things for us. So they have their 2018, 2019 card already, and it's laminated, so it can't get used up, and they can go out and they can get those dollars for us. I'm trying to do what Al invited us to do this evening. Right, Al?
Good job. Good
All
job.
right. So now I call Michael Berube up here. Michael? And Pat Ferrandino. And Robert J. Hartman Jr., who's at the camera. Want to roll that down to him? Don't forget his left. Good Bob. It's like he's got it on automatic pilot. Isn't that amazing? Give him a hand, he's good. All right, and Ashley Hiller. And Patricia couldn't be with us tonight, so we'll put that over here. William Nerum. And Nancy Martucci. Joanna Murphy. Adrian Price. Katie Spinato, she couldn't make it tonight. Oh, and now we have our new board member, Debbie Cutler Ortiz. Debbie, want to come forward? And I took care of it for you, Sean. Here's her book. Here you go. You're all set. She now has her bylaw. She'll be coming into the meeting in August, and she'll be all set. She can study up during the month of July. We don't have a meeting in July, if no one told you. So you can read up on that, find all about, they give you a bylaw quiz. No, I'm joking. All right, and now we have our new, well, they're going to fight over it. I don't know who is going to do what. We're going to have a corresponding and a recording secretary. So I don't know who's taking what, so I'll just call those secretaries forward. Francine Wayner, here you go. Thank you. And Mary Ann Putney, you know what, Francine, since you're here, you could choose, because Mary Ann couldn't make it. There you go. There you go.
Is Mary Ann here too?
No.
And our wonderful treasurer, Mark.
Yay!
He makes out all those checks.
There you go.
Our new incoming vice president, Steflana. And of course, I'm passing over the reins to dear Sean. And I want him to know that while I'm in Aruba for the next 6 months, just kidding, I did something for you. You are just going to love what I did for you. Of course, this can be an archive, because I noticed at St. George, they keep everything I did as president. They used the same letter I sent out and all. I put together for him a binder of
She knows me
everything
too
he
well.
needs to do. Now, Sean, don't tell anybody, but I even gave you a flash drive so you can download it. So you're all set. And these are the main important things. And of course, you know, I still have to come by your house because I have a lot of stuff that's going to need to go over to you.
Okay.
And I did say I'd help you out.
You
I'll
did.
be ex
You're not going
officio.
away.
I'm going to be like Will Norton. I'm the new Will Norton. Because I love the board so much. I said, guys, I'll help you out. I'll do things. And I'm going to check on him. Make sure that he gets it. So Sean, beside your little car to run around town getting things, this is the survival kit for the president. So the next president, you can pass it on and you'll have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
So
That's
this is the wonderful board. We're sorry that Peter is and now, board members, we're going to give these, what the group has been waiting for, their wonderful checks. We'll do that together. And it will be my last time. And what I'm going to show you is in your kit tonight. This will be your check. A lovely card designed by Ashley Hiller. She did a beautiful card, which would be very nice for you to use. And also, for each one of you, I made you a certificate to hang in your offices saying, "Friends helping neighbors, thanks for your record of service to the Guilford Community Fund." And every one of you has one of those to hang in your office, because you know what? I went to a workshop once and the man said this: if you don't toot your own horn, nobody else will. And what makes you important is when you go in the doctor's office, he has hanging all his degrees and everything for you to look at, right? So the guy at the workshop said, you do the same. Put your chair, have your shrine right behind you so that when you're talking to them, they know how important you are. So that is just a little something from me to you, because you have become great friends. So first up, Guilford, A Better Chance. Come up, please. Thank you very much for all that you do.
And thank you very much for including us. We really appreciate all of the support from the organization and from the community and everyone involved.
Now, we don't want you to go away for a minute because, don't go away 1 second. We want you to bring this to Patricia. We know that Patricia is retiring. She sent me an email. And after 22 years of being at the Red Cross and doing the phenomenal job she did, Patricia M. Shear, is that how she's her last name, Shaw? Oh, this is A Better Chance. I got the wrong one. Sorry.
I'd be glad to take it.
In other words, Lydia, it's a good thing you're retiring. Thank you, A Better Chance.
Thank you.
Here comes the American Red Cross.
I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah. Patricia emailed me that, you're
Kirsten.
You're Kirsten,
Yes.
new to us.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, because I know Pat. She's so good.
She is.
We made this for Pat because we just feel that she has done so much for the Guilford Community Fund. And after 22 years of service, we want her to know that we are with her all the way and in her new journey that she's on.
I will let her know.
And we will be thinking of her, and we will be sending her best wishes that all works out okay for her. And so tell her that we missed her tonight, but this is for her because this is a great woman.
She really is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Guilford before and after school program. This is our one person that we have on board, and Her mom is our secretary. She goes down to the mailbox, gets everything for us, puts all those nice little things together so we can send out the thank you notes, and she does a great job, and so don't you.
Thank you.
For all you do,
Thank you so
Jessica.
much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Big brother. You need them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Bears Clinic. The code.
Thank you so much. And Lydia, you are a treasure for this organization. I'm going to miss your humor and your grace and just all the fun that you bring to a room.
Thank you so much. Friendly Visiting and the Guilford Food Bank.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank
We
you.
will miss you.
Well, you know, you'll see me around town. Check
Okay.
out these guys. Meals on Wheels. I should say, now I'm on the Guilford Performing Arts Festival Committee. I was made treasurer, so I won't be bored. Charlie's Closet.
We at Guilford Interfaith Ministries do everything the same, including the walk. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
at the performing arts.
Thank you. We'll hope to see you at the festival in 2019. The Guilford Center for Children. The Guilford Youth Mentoring. Thank you, Lisa. Lifelink.
Thank you.
Literacy Volunteers, Valley Shore, Connecticut. NeighborWorks, New Horizon. Now, you are new on the job there, right?
Eves.
You're Eves, that we haven't met. Nice to meet you. Now we know who Eves is, and we know you. Thank you. Medical Adult Daycare. Sarah Foundation. Ken's new, but you know that because you know Ken. Shoreline Outdoor Education Center.
Thank you for all the support the Community Fund has given the center over the years. Without your help, we wouldn't be in existence.
We love We love what you guys do, and tell Dr. Christensen I'm going to miss her very much.
Okay.
Thank you. DNA Community Healthcare.
Thank you. With all the changes in healthcare and our new hospice program, this is very much appreciated.
You're welcome, and
Thank you.
glad to see hospice attached to you. Thank you
And I
so
wish
much.
you well.
Thank you. Women and Family Life Center.
We also are so appreciative of all the support you've given us over the years.
You're welcome, and I don't think they'll let you be interim. I think they're going to make you full term. And I'm BH Care, the umbrella for domestic violence, and BH Behavioral Services. They unfortunately had to leave early, but that's not bad, only 2 envelopes, not bad. So, thank you all for a great meeting.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask Lydia to step aside, literally and figuratively, just for a moment. Stay right here. I think it may have gone unnoticed, but I've got the 2 most difficult jobs tonight throughout this meeting. The first of my difficult jobs is following Lydia as president of the Guilford Community Fund. I don't think anybody can do it, and I'm not, selling myself short, but I don't think anybody could follow the example that you set. Her leadership, her dedication, and her hard work on behalf of the Guilford Community Fund, and by extension on behalf of you, is beyond what I think anyone else could do. I have no pretense that I can do as much as she did, or do it with the style and grace that she did it with. We're gonna miss you, Lydia. My second difficult job is to describe to you everything that Lydia does. I think most of us can remember back when computers and dot matrix printers came out, and they had the box of paper with all the holes on the sides, and as you printed stuff off, the paper just accordioned out. It's kind of like we would need a box of that, the paper coming out, to really describe everything that Lydia does. When she came to join us, she fit in perfectly with one of our mottos, which was neighbors helping neighbors. And Lydia is a good neighbor in all areas of her life. She, like I said, she fit in perfectly with what we try to do here at the Community Fund. In her professional life, Lydia was dedicated to teaching, and she did that for what, close to 45 years.
I was 10 when I started.
She taught for 45 years, and I have a feeling that she taught not only kids, but she probably taught parents, administrators, and taught other teachers. She rattled off a few abbreviations of organizations that she's been a part of in her professional life, and I caught there's an N and an E and an O and a few of those, but she's been active all her life in her professional organizations and still is. But that's one area where you go to work and then you volunteer your time and your leadership and your work and to help everybody else in your field have a better experience and to learn things. So that's one of the things that she did. Just professional organizations and boards, leadership councils all around the country, awards for herself, very accomplished in that area. Other aspect of her life is her faith. And again, there, Lydia, she does both in a supporting role and in a leadership role. She's always been active in her churches, and the organizations that go along with the churches, all the different groups and activities. She's been very instrumental in helping through her faith and through her work, giving back to the community in that regard. Then comes, as she mentioned, civic organizations like the Guilford Community Fund. We were blessed to have her join us 10 years ago, the last 4 as president. She shepherded us through 4 very successful years of fundraising in trying economic times for the state and in the area. She did a great job leading us in that regard. She has led us with a very steady hand as we as a board went through some pretty significant changes in our own membership. People that had been on the board a while leaving and new people coming in and a good number of a good bit of transition for us. And through her organization and her discipline and her leadership skills, she kind of kept us all on track as we all came in and out. And then on paper, I'd have to say Lydia is retired as a teacher. Okay, all right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that she isn't retired as a teacher. I'm going to say that every day Lydia teaches us, you, and anybody else in Guilford that cares to listen or to pay attention. She's going to teach us things that we should do in our life and how we should act in our daily life around Guilford and the larger community. It's things like always say thank you, which I think is a big part of that book she gave me, is making sure I say thank you to the people that support us. But to always say thank you. She's also taught us that energy and creativity can make the mundane things in life a heck of a lot more fun. And you guys will know what I mean at next year's meeting. After an hour of this. Lydia teaches us to give back to your community and to give back to your neighbors, help your neighbors as much as you can. She spends so many hours doing that of her time outside, and that's important. Give back as much as you can, and then we're all better off for it. She taught to be committed to what you sign up for. It's one thing to say, okay, I'll do this, but then you got to go and do it. It's okay, I'll be a part of the group, but then you got to show up the 11 months out of the year if you can. But to be committed and devoted to what you sign up to do. And then she does also teach us to go the extra mile, do a few extra things, push it a little bit further, and try a little bit harder. Lydia teaches us to be a good neighbor, to help your neighbors. Having said that, on behalf of the Guilford Community Fund, we would like to thank Lydia for her 10 years of service and her 4 years of stewardship and leadership to us as president. Thank you very much.
Sean told me he made this.
I think I did. I did.
I mean, Sean, oh my, this was the greatest vice president to have. We worked so well together. We just complimented each other and we worked really, really good. I'm impressed. Wow. I'll hang that in the house.
And a couple parting gifts.
Oh,
We all did.
thank you.
But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The one thing that I'm very bad at is goodbyes. I don't like goodbyes. So this isn't a goodbye. This is hello, I'll be seeing you, I'll be sitting out there next year, I'll rate him. And I just can't say enough to all of you how great a privilege this was to be in the Guilford Community Fund and be a member and to be able to have you let me take a leadership role. You are great people, and you know, Guilford is the greatest place on earth. I just want one little story and then we'll say goodnight because I never can leave him out. I was married for 8 years and my husband died, and it was early on. I'm a widow for about 30 years now. But there was one thing about my husband that he taught me, and that was he'd say, Lydia, whatever you commit yourself to, you die with your boots on. You'll just be there and you'll give it the extra mile. He also used to say, keep on trucking and give back. And one of the goals that we had before he died was I was in East Guilford for many years, in Madison. He said, we're going to move to Guilford someday. That we didn't get to do. But every day when I walk the green, I think of him. This town with that Guilford green is just the spirit and the life of everything that the Guilford Community Fund is. And so with those words, I say to you, go in peace, God bless you all, and keep doing what you're doing for your agencies, because we know there are a lot of people out there who need us. And so if there's any sandwiches, I have little bags, please take them home. We don't want to have to leave anything left over. And God bless you all, and thank you for coming tonight. I don't want to cry, but thank you, God bless.